This week's training is on the Familysearch Wiki. And I wanted to share this week because I would like each of our consultants to really feel confident when we have different patrons come and they have a question. I wanted to show you this because each of us can really feel confident when patrons come in that when they have a question about a certain area or a certain place that they're looking for records, that we can say, well, let's go to the wiki and see what it says that we should do. So here I am. To get to the wiki at familysearch.org, we need to go first to familysearch.org, and I'm sure many of you are very, very familiar with this site. This right here, remember, is the family tree. Then photos is in the middle, the search button, and then the other get help and sign in is over here on the right. But to get to the wiki, I wish they had a little picture right here at the bottom too that you could go right to it, but they don't yet. Maybe it's something we can suggest. You want to go to the search button, and then, this is where the records where you search for the index records, and genealogies is right here next, catalog, books, and wiki. So here's where you click on to go to the wiki. So let's say that a patron came in and they said, I have an ancestor that I know was born about 1848 in Kentucky, and I want to see if I can find his birth record. And so you can say, okay, well, let's come here to the wiki, and here's the search right here, search by place or topic, and let's just type in Kentucky. There's also a lot more on this page, but I'm not going to go over everything because let's just pretend that a patron has come in. Okay, so here on this page, it gives you the top one, it just says Kentucky. There's Kentucky in the Civil War, Kentucky military records. Let's just go right to the state, since that's the only information that they gave us right now, that they didn't give us a county or anything. And here is the Kentucky page. Now, as far as, for those of you that maybe don't understand the wiki, what it is it's just a place that anybody can come and contribute to. I'm sure that the church has put a lot of information on, but also anyone that would like to, that maybe has done some research in Kentucky and would like to share that, they can do that so that it can help others. So if you were actually found a website or something that you want to share and you see that it's not here, then for sure go and I think you can do it through the edit this page. I haven't done it yet, but you can go and just put in your own information. So anyway, let's get back to our problem. This is the Kentucky page, and I wanted to show you just a little bit about it. Most of the pages in Wiki look about the same. They have these purple colors, and this will be the same over here on the right-hand side. But as far as like the pictures and the information that's here, it's going to be specific and different for each state, country, wherever you're looking. So I wanted to show you the key topics. The top 5 topics for Kentucky are this: vital records, census, cemeteries, probates, and land and property. And one thing I really like when you come into the page is it tells you a little background. For instance, right here, Kentucky was formed in 1792. Many of its earliest settlers came from the Ohio River from Pennsylvania or through the Cumberland Gap from Virginia and North Carolina. So it kind of gives you a little background of where the people came from and where you might be able to look, if it was earlier than 1792 and they were in the United States by then. So anyway, just a little background. Let's come down just a little bit. You can also, right here, usually on most pages it'll have Kentucky Online Records. So you could always click on there. This includes subscription websites and free websites. So this is always great to look at. But back to our patron question. He asked about the birth record in Kentucky in 1848. So let's look right here. We can say, okay, well, let's look and see what the wiki says about finding that birth information before 1848. And so here it says how to find Kentucky birth records. And here it says statewide registration of births began in 1911 in Kentucky. with general compliance by 1917. The states were required in the early 1900s to register births, and a lot of them, this one's a little bit later, 1911, sometimes they're earlier than that. So, but this is good to know. So you know that you're not going to find them in state registration because they were born in 1848. So if you come down here, next step, when did the birth occur? As you know, it was in 1848. So let's look at this one, births before 1852. Okay, and as you can see, it was right below where we were. But it says before 1852, no births were recorded by the county or state. You must search substitute records to locate your ancestors' birth date and place. And then they just give you some ideas. You know, on a death record, a lot of death records, depending on when he died, would actually have a birth, hopefully a birth date. Maybe not the complete date there again, but possibly at least the year when they were born, or they might even just have how old they are when they died, so you could kind of figure out when they were born. Cemetery records, newspapers, Bible records. A census, you could actually find him on the 1850 census and see if he is like 2 years old, then you know that he was at least alive, and you'd also be able to find out where in Kentucky he was at that time. So anyway, I think that's great because, you know, it's hard when you're a consultant, it's hard to know everything for sure. There's no way to ever know everything. And so I think that this is just helpful to, you know, if a patron comes in, you can be like, hey, I don't know, but let's go find out what's available. All right, so let's say someone else is searching in Lancashire, England. So I went over here to the right-hand side. Someone comes in and says, well, I have ancestors in Lancashire. What kind of records can I find? You can actually click. And this is kind of too for the wiki. Maybe you've already looked at all the, you know, index records that the church had, and they've done a lot of looking. This is kind of like just to help you kind of see what's available. So I just put in a search for Lancashire, and I'm going to click on Lancashire. Okay, and as you can see, this looks different than the Kentucky page. It's still got kind of the purple, but it's got a, you know, Lancashire rose, the flag of Lancashire. And then right here too, it gives you a little background. Lancashire is a maritime county located in the northwest of England. It's sometimes called the County of Lancaster. That's really good to know because I've seen Lancaster and Lancashire, and so at least you know that's the exact place. It's not a different place. Over here on the left-hand side, it says that for news and events, there's records from this area are currently being indexed by volunteers. So it says you can come join the effort, and it looks like they're doing Lancashire, and I don't know how to say that, COFE, parish records. And so wouldn't that be awesome if the person that came in, that's the parish that their ancestors were from, and they could actually get involved and help with it. So this would just be how to get into Lancashire, and you could just help them through that. Say, well, let's look at the different records and anything else on here. So let's try one other thing. Say someone comes in and says, I know my ancestor was from Germany, and I'm just trying to figure out, you know, what to do. I don't know what to do to find him in Germany. And Germany is a pretty big country, so it's kind of hard if you don't know the exact place. So you could say, well, let's go to Germany on the wiki, and let's just see what we need to do. And so this one is great. Here's the German page, and again, it's a little bit different than the other ones. But what I really like up here, see in the left-hand corner, it says Beginner's Corner. And it says right here, Getting Started. So if you click on that, and this will be helpful for you as a consultant too, because you'll be like, I'm not sure what we need to do. Let's go here and see. And it tells you, it says, make sure the patron knows to search all your home sources, everything, then evaluate them and see what you have, maybe what you don't have, organize them. And then right here, this would really be helpful, what you need to know to begin research in Germany. So you can tell me you really need to know the given and surname, need to find out the exact place, name that they're from, the time frame, and then, if you can, the religion. Now, sometimes that's hard. You may not find the religion, but then it tells you down here in the next paragraphs, what you can do if you don't have this information, how you might be able to get it, like searching a ship list, a naturalization record, or church records, and just wherever you can go to try to find the exact place where they're from. And let me go on the back button. I actually helped somebody in our ward with some German records, and we couldn't find anything here, even in the catalog at the Family History Library in Salt Lake. And so we were able to Google the place. He did know the place they were from. We were able to Google it, and I did find somebody, a researcher in Germany, that was for a couple $100. It's not cheap, but I figured it's cheaper than going there. This guy was actually able to go to the church and able to get information on his family. And it was a huge blessing, because it gets really frustrating when you can't find the information. Some of the churches in Germany haven't digitized the records and won't let the church digitize them yet. So, and this tells you over here that if you want to research in German archives, be aware that some are charging fees. So a lot of times you might have to pay a little. But anyway, I just hope that's helpful. I just hope you'll feel comfortable and practice this. If you have an ancestor that's in a certain area that you're not used to, just try the wiki. Try going in and searching for that area and see what you can find. See if it helps you out in finding a record, or just gives you information of what you could do. So anyway, I hope this is helpful. Have a great day, and